Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. So this is Technique Tuesday, and we are doing another square from our 63 Easy-To-Crochet pattern stitches combined to make an Heirloom Afghan from our 1987 Leaflet by Darla Sims. So we are making square number 16, and it is the granny square. So this is so easy. But I'm going to make this because I know there's a lot of people that haven't made a granny square before, and I'm going to teach this granny square to you guys. Okay. You can chain 4. I'll show you. So we can chain 4 and then go to the very first one and slip stitch in it, and that will make a circle. Okay, that is probably the easiest way of making a circle. All right. But I am going to make a magic circle, and what we're going to do is I like to do this. First of all, we're going to take our yarn and do this, and then we're going to put this loop over top of this yarn here, and we're going to pull that up out of there. Okay, same way as making a slip knot, except for you are not going to bring that all the way closed. But it's the exact same thing as making a slip knot. Now, once I get this, I'm going to chain 3. And then I'm going to keep this together like this, right? So we chain 3, and we are going to put 2 more double crochets in that slip knot. Or not slip knot, magic circle. And you could bring this magic circle closed a little bit. All right, so counting this chain 3, this chain 3 is a double crochet. It's counted as a double crochet. Always is, always will be, especially with this pattern. All right, so that means that we have 3 double crochets here. 1, 2, 3. You're going to chain 2. This is your corner, okay? Now, you're going to put 3 more double crochets into this magic circle or your ring, whatever you're using. These are the side of your square. See the corner? The chain 2 is your corner. These double crochets are the sides of your square. Okay? So, I'm going to chain 2 again. And we have to do this 2 more times. So, chain 2, and we're going to put, because we have to make 4 sides to our square. Squares have 4 sides and 4 corners. So we got to make sure that we're making 4 sides and 4 corners. So there is 1, 2, 3 sides. We're going to make another corner. And then we're going to put, I'm going to bring this closed a little bit more. We're going to put another 3 double crochets in there. And in the granny square, it's always 3 double crochets is your shell. They call that a shell. 3 double crochets. So now we're back at the very beginning, and normally you would chain 2 here and slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. But I found something out different. I'm going to bring this shut. I do not like holes in the middle of my square, okay? That's why I use that magic circle. I don't like holes in the middle of my square. I like it to be perfectly closed. I am going to do a half double crochet, so I'm going to wrap my hook go into the top of this chain 3, bring it out, and now I'm going to do a half double crochet. That is the same as a chain 2. A half double crochet is the same as a chain 2. The one thing that I love about this technique, as I'm teaching you guys different techniques and how I do this, the way I love this technique is it brings me back to the middle of this square, so I do not have to chain 3 and turn my square. I can keep going. I don't need to turn my square. So my squares have a front and a back to them. See? So anyway, from here, this is the first row of the square, and you can see that it is a square, okay? The second row is a chain 3. And with that chain 3, we need 2 more double crochets to go with it, right? And usually people will chain 1 from here and go to the next one. I finish my, like I do, I finish off my corner at the end. I only do the first part of my corner at the beginning, okay? I do not like to chain 1. I just go straight over without chaining 1 because I'm a loose crocheter, and I'm doing my 3 double crochets in that corner, okay? You can see this space. I don't need that chain 1, and that chain 1 makes the space more prevalent. I like granny squares, but the one thing about a regular granny square that I don't like is there's so many holes in it. And so I try to alleviate as many holes as I possibly can or make them smaller. But this is supposed to be a hole. Okay. So anyway, we get 3 double crochets in the corner, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets in that corner. All right, and normally, if you want to, and it all depends if you're a tight crocheter or not, if you need that chain 1 right here. Otherwise, go to your next corner and put 3 double crochets into that next corner. These corners are all done the exact same. It's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the corners. They're all done the exact same. So we keep a uniform. It's what I love about crocheting. It's repeat. It's on repeat all the time. I love it. All right, so now we're going to go to the next corner and we're going to do the same thing to it. We're going to put 3 double crochets in there, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets in that corner. Okay, now we're back at the very beginning where I put my first part of my corner in, which was the 3 double crochets, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put those last 3 double crochets in this corner. And again, I am going to half double crochet at the top of this chain 3, right at the top of this chain 3 to make my last corner. And there is row 2. Okay. Now we go to row 3. All right. I'm trying to think. This is number 16. Let's see how many rows. I didn't even look to see how many rows we were doing. Oh, it looks like you're doing 6 rows. Okay. So, all right. So anyway, row number 3, chain 3, and then you're going to put 2 double crochets in with this to do the first part of this corner. All right. So when I come back around, I'm going to finish this corner. All right, so now we are going to go to this side hole. Okay, so we have, as you see your square, you have corners through it, 4 of them. You also have 4 side holes. Okay, we have to put something in those holes. So you can chain 1 from here or not. I don't. I'm going to put 3 double crochets in that side hole. Okay, so you put 3 double crochets in there. You would, if you were chaining 1, you would chain 1 again here. But otherwise, go straight to the corner. Putting 3 double crochets, and we're doing the corners the same. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. That never changes. It's always the same throughout the pattern. Okay? And on the sides, you will always put just 3 double crochets on the sides. So here we go. We have another side one. We're putting 3 double crochets in there. Okay? And then we're back to the corner again, and we are doing 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. All right, now we are going to put our 3 double crochets in this side one again. And we're back to a corner again. So we'll do that corner, which is 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And I know I'm fast, but you can slow the video down. All right, now we're back to the side. And we're going to put 3 double crochets in that side one. Just 3. Okay, and we're back at the very beginning of my corner. And I need to put 3 double crochets in this corner to finish it off. And then I need to, I'm going to put a half double crochet in the top of that chain 3 to make my corner. And this is what the square looks like now. Okay. So, so the rest of it is easy. Every row, your side holes multiply by 1, right? So you have 2 side holes this time on each side. So there's 2 on each side. Your corners, you still have 4 corners. It doesn't change. Chain 3 and put your 2 double crochets in here to get your shell going. And now you're going to put a shell in this first side hole. So that a shell means 3 double crochets. That's a shell. Putting 3 double crochets in that hole. And then there's another side hole, and we need to put 3 double crochets in it. And then we're doing our corners, which never changes. Again, 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So you see on this one right here, we had 2 holes the last row. We created 3 new holes. 1, 2, 3. So when we go around to this next row, we'll have 3 holes to fill. So and so forth. So we're going to go and do our shells and our holes, which is 3 double crochets in each of the side holes. We're putting 3 double crochets in each one of them holes. Okay, and now in the corner is 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. One more. All right, now go to the side holes again, and we've got 3 double crochets in those to do. And 3 double crochet. Here we go, in here. And now we need a corner. So we're back at the corner again with, wait a minute, that was too loose. So putting 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in this corner. Now I need 3 double crochets in each of these side ones. And 3 double crochets to finish off this corner. And I am using a half double crochet corner at the end. Okay, so here is, so you'll just continue this way for the next 2 rows. We did 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're supposed to go to 6 rows. It's 6 rows, right? So you will just continue this way until you get to your 6 rows. And just remember, you on the sides now you have 3 holes to fill with your 3 double crochets instead of 2. So I'm going to finish mine off camera, and I'm going to allow you to finish yours off camera. So it's the same thing. Just make sure in each of the side holes you're putting 3 double crochets in there, and in the corners is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So if you need help, just rewind the video and review it again, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so I will be back to show you the border. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye now. Welcome back to our granny square tutorial or technique. Okay, so we are going to put a border on this. This is what the granny square looks like when it's finished. And now we're going to put a border on here. I'm going to show you. It's the same border as we've always been doing. We're going to put 2 single crochets in this corner. Alright, and then we're going to single crochet in every stitch across, but these stitches come in 3s, as you well know. If you chained 1 in between your 3 stitches, make sure you put a single crochet into that chain 1 space. I did not, so I'm just going to put my stitches all the way across. I'm putting single crochets all the way across. And when you get to this chain 2 corner, you're going to put 2 single crochets, chain 2, and 2 single crochets in that corner. Okay, so on the corners we're putting 2 single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then we are going to continue this one right here. Sort of, you don't want this one to get hidden by this corner, so make sure you go into this, make sure that you're going into these 3. Don't miss that first one. So there's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 18 single crochets all the way across, unless you have chain 1 spaces in between. Well, then there'll be a little bit more than 18. But if you did it the way I did it, you'll have 18 stitches all the way across in those single crochets. I mean, in those double crochets. We're putting single crochets in the double crochets. And we're back to the corner, and it's the same thing. 2 single crochet, chain 2, and 2 single crochet in that corner. But be careful that this first one doesn't get covered up, or else you'll forget it. And here we go. We're almost done. So we're on our last side. And we're back here at the corner again, and I need to put 2 single crochets in here yet. And then I'm going to use a half double crochet to connect to the first single crochet to make that corner. So I just did a half double crochet corner again, as I usually do. All right, now what we need to do, we need to get some stitch markers out of here. We need 4 stitch markers. All right, so I'm going to mark my corners with stitch markers next, as we usually do when we make these squares. This isn't nothing different. This way, when we go back around, we'll be able to find those corners. as we're going to be skipping over the corners this next row. All right, so my corners are all marked, right? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to, I'm just going to go straight into this front loop right here, which is the next stitch over. So what we are doing, we're slip stitching very loosely into these front loops. And I know I say this every time, but if you're a tight slip stitcher, make sure you go up one size in your hook size, and that will make up for it. Because if this gets too tight, then your square will crunch up on itself, and we don't want that to happen. So we are slip stitching into the front loops of these single crochets, front loops only. And then when we get to the corner, we're going to go to the next stitch. After the corner, we're skipping over that corner. Just kind of pushing that corner to the back, and we're skipping over the corner. That way, your slip stitching will go around it, and then you can see the corners right there. So we're going to continue around doing this all the way around, skipping the corners and just putting slip stitches into the front loops of the single crochets. I recently done a square that I changed the color of these slip stitches, and you can do that too. It is so cool to change the color. It looks really neat. So I recently made a square where I changed the color. Those purple squares that I showed you. Except for I made those slip stitches in the third stitch of the half double crochet. Alright, so here we go. We're skipping over again and going into the next front loop on the other side of this chain too. And continuing across. Skipping over this chain 2 and finding the next stitch on the other side and slip stitch into it. We're almost all the way around there. We just have one more side to go down. Okay, so I started on the other side of here. I'm going to find that first slip stitch that I made, and I'm going to slip stitch right into that slip stitch. Okay, and here is our corner, because see, I skipped the corner. Here's our corner. So I'm going to take, I'm going to put my needle in there and take this stitch marker out. And what I'm going to do is I slip stitched right into the corner and chained 1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 single crochets in this corner, if I can get in there. There we go. So we're just going to put 3 single crochets in this corner. Okay, so now I have 3 single crochets in that corner, and right, if you push these slip stitches forward, you will see the back loops of those single crochets, and we're going to go into the back loop and single crochet into those. So you see the loops right back there that we did not use? Those are the back loops of our single crochets. So we are single crocheting in those. All the way until we get to the corner. And then in this corner, I'm going to put my needle in there because the stitch marker is showing me where it is. Take that out. I'm going to put 3 single crochets in this corner. And then find the next back loop and continue on putting single crochets down the line. And that's all there is to it, folks. This is the way it looks. So you've got this border on there that looks pretty cool looking. And I'm going to finish mine off camera, and I'm going to allow you to let you do the same. So it's the same thing. All we're doing is putting single crochets in those back loops and putting 3 single crochets in each of those corners. So, and then you'll come back around and slip stitch to the first single crochet and tie down your ends. So that is the end of this Technique Tuesday. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.